Libra, something rare and undeniable is unfolding in your favor. Between November 6th and 8th, a cosmic window opens and within it lies a shocking financial breakthrough tailor-made for you. Not a coincidence. Not a fantasy. A real shift. A divine payout long overdue. If you're here watching this, it's not by accident. You've been drawn in because your spirit recognized the truth before your mind caught up. Have you ever felt like you were the only one left behind watching everyone else receive their blessings, their opportunities, their breakthroughs while you stood in silence, still waiting? Let me tell you something the world never taught you. You weren't overlooked. You were protected. You were hidden not out of neglect, but out of divine strategy. The universe was safeguarding something inside you that was too valuable to expose prematurely. Right now, the alignment of Venus, your ruling planet, forming a rare and supportive trine with expansive Jupiter, marks the release point. It is a sacred trigger. The countdown has begun. This isn't a reading filled with vague hope. This is a transmission for those who feel the inner shift and know deep down something big is on the horizon. It's for those who've endured, remained true to their values, and still showed up when no one was watching. Let me ask you, what made you click on this today? What drew your eyes to this very message, at this exact time? There is a reason you found this. And there is a reason your name is being whispered in the halls of destiny right now. Because Libra, you're not just entering a season of breakthrough, you are the breakthrough. But before we go deeper, I want to take a sincere moment to thank you. Your presence here matters. Every like, every comment, every new subscription you offer doesn't just grow this channel, it weaves you into the fabric of a community that believes in more than luck. We believe in alignment, in divine timing, in soul contracts fulfilled through faith and clarity. Your support fuels Zodiac Whisper Tarot, and it is because of you that these transformational messages continue to reach the people who need them the most. So thank you, from the bottom of my heart, for being here. For listening. For receiving. And Libra, I say this with certainty, you'll want to stay with me until the very last moment of today's message, because what the universe is revealing about your financial destiny is nothing short of breathtaking. Now, I have to ask, and I want you to answer honestly in the comments below, what signs, synchronicities, or quiet whispers led you here today? Let this be your moment of confirmation. And if your heart is saying, yes, then type 77 in the comments now to claim your alignment and activate this portal of abundance. What's coming next will show you why every delay was protection, and why the emptiness you felt was just space being cleared for something sacred to arrive. Let's begin. Sometimes the most powerful moments in life are the ones where nothing seems to be happening. Where you're waiting, watching others thrive, questioning whether you've somehow been passed over or forgotten entirely. And if you're a Libra, especially now, it may feel like you've been standing at the edge of something enormous for a very long time, but the door has yet to open. That feeling isn't unfamiliar. It's carved itself into your memories, showing up in seasons of delay, silence, and emotional drought. But what if the silence wasn't absence, and the delay wasn't denial? What if you weren't being overlooked, but rather, intentionally held, placed in a protected space for a time such as this? You see, in astrology, Libra holds a sacred role, the keeper of equilibrium. You are ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty, values, justice, and alignment. But Venus also teaches patience, not the kind where we wait idly, but the kind that reshapes us while we are unseen. When Venus goes retrograde, for instance, everything connected to worth and value is reviewed, reconsidered, and recalibrated, not to take from you, but to return what you were always worthy of receiving. And sometimes, that recalibration takes time, not because you're behind, but because what's being prepared for you requires a precise alignment of conditions. There's a deeper wisdom here, and you may feel it stirring now more than ever. Just as the caterpillar is not forgotten when it enters the cocoon, you too have been in a space of sacred waiting. Hidden, not because you're unwanted, but because you are valuable beyond measure, and value must be revealed, not rushed. Your breakthrough hasn't been delayed, it's been timed perfectly. And now, the timing is clicking into place. In numerology, the divine code 77 isn't just a coincidence. It's a vibration of spiritual maturity, inner mastery, and the activation of purpose. 7 plus 7 equals 14, the number of temperance in the tarot. And what is temperance, if not the card of divine timing? It's the image of an angel carefully pouring from one cup to another, blending elements with perfect patience and sacred intention. It reminds us that healing, restoration, and abundance don't arrive chaotically, they arrive when you are ready to receive them without distortion. Many people confuse being hidden with being forgotten. But Libra, you are not most people. Your intuitive soul already knows that this pause has been a protection. That your time in the quiet wasn't a punishment, it was preparation. And the emotions you've wrestled with, inadequacy, comparison, abandonment, are not signs that you're broken. They're signs that your blueprint has been preserved under divine lock and key, because only those with the patience to carry purpose without recognition can be trusted with the weight of real abundance. There's also a very human element to this. You've shown up in life with integrity, even when it cost you opportunities. You've chosen kindness in a world that often rewards cruelty. You've remained true to your values while others compromised theirs for fast success. And though you may have felt like the last one left in the waiting room, the one no one calls, what if you're not late? You're last because you're meant to lead differently. In some stories, the one who comes last carries the final piece of the puzzle, or holds the key no one else knew they were missing. In spiritual wisdom, whether it's found in scripture or in the quiet moments of prayer, it's often said that the last shall be first. That isn't just moral encouragement. It's a reality shift. It's the way divine order corrects injustice and recenters those who have lived with quiet faith. So if you've been asking, why not me? Know this, you were not meant to blend in with the rush. You were meant to arrive when the stage is cleared, when the distractions fade, and when the weight of your calling can finally be supported. The world is just now ready for what you've always carried. And Libra, so are you. It's interesting how we're taught to fear emptiness. In a world that glorifies constant motion, endless productivity, and noise, stillness is often mistaken for stagnation. But for you, Libra, stillness has never been empty. It's been sacred. Even when your logical mind couldn't name it, your soul recognized it. That ache, that invisible pause you've been living through, wasn't a void, it was an invitation. A preparation space. A clearing. As an air sign, you're naturally wired to seek connection, conversation, and clarity. You thrive in environments where there's movement and meaning. So when life slows down, when friends drift away, when opportunities pause without explanation, it can feel jarring, even unjust. But what if I told you that this emptiness wasn't meant to harm you? What if it was designed to protect and purify something far more valuable, your ability to receive fully? Think of your heart as a sacred vessel, one that has been carefully emptied to make room for something far greater than what you've carried in the past. It's not that you lost anything. It's that the space you once filled with distractions, survival mechanisms, or borrowed dreams is now being restored to its original design. That space is being ready to hold abundance, not just materially, but emotionally and spiritually. You may have noticed subtle signs, a sudden disinterest in small talk or gossip, a pull away from fast food, late nights, or cluttered environments. Maybe you found peace thinking about money in a way you never had before, not from a place of panic, but from a quiet knowing that you'll be supported, even if the numbers haven't changed yet. Perhaps the number 77 keeps finding you in receipts, license plates, timestamps. These aren't random. These are alignment codes. They're like gentle taps from the universe saying, keep going. You're tuning in now. This phase of your journey, while seemingly passive, is deeply active on the energetic level. When you allow yourself to become empty, you become receptive. You become magnetic. But here's the important part. Not everything can enter a purified space. That's why certain people had to leave. That's why certain doors didn't open. You weren't being punished, you were being protected from anything that couldn't respect the gravity of what's about to enter. In the language of self-healing, this is what we call the sacred pause. It's the breath between endings and beginnings. It's what many miss because they rush to fill the silence with anything: noise, food, busyness, attention. But you, Libra, whether you realize it or not, have chosen to sit in the stillness. That is not weakness. That is mastery. When you feel lost in this space, remember, sometimes being lost is how light finds you. There are countless stories of people who, after long periods of perceived silence or invisibility, suddenly step into roles they were unknowingly being prepared for all along. You might know someone like that. You might be that someone. And when that moment comes, when everything clicks, when the shift arrives, it will feel so natural, so aligned, that you'll wonder why you ever doubted it. From a practical standpoint, this is a good time to nourish your nervous system. Take slow walks without your phone. Drink warm herbal teas. Eat foods that feel grounding, like oats, sweet potatoes, or lentils. Let your home breathe. Clean out a drawer, light a candle, rearrange your space with intention. These small acts signal to your subconscious that you are not waiting in fear, but preparing in faith. You are not empty. You are not behind. You are becoming a channel for something extraordinary. And that gentle hum in your chest you've started to feel lately? That's not anxiety. That's alignment. That's your frequency rising to meet what's already yours. Let it in. Keep the space clear. Stay in the stillness just a little longer. What's coming will need all of you present, and it's going to be more beautiful than you imagined. You may not have realized it, Libra, but all this time, while others were chasing shortcuts and bending the truth to gain a momentary edge, you were building something infinitely more lasting: character. In a world that often rewards the loudest voices, the fastest moves, or the flashiest facades, your quiet integrity might have felt invisible. But let me gently remind you, nothing real is ever wasted, and no act of goodness ever goes unseen. Especially not now. We are living in a time where the old systems are collapsing, systems that once told you that playing fair was foolish, that softness was weakness, that authenticity was optional. Those days are ending. Energetically, the field is shifting. What used to work, manipulation, false alliances, opportunistic wins, is now backfiring for those who built their foundations on sand. What's rising to replace it is a new kind of currency. One that can't be bought, borrowed, or faked. It's the currency of character. This is where you, Libra, shine the most. Because when you gave when you had little, when you showed grace instead of retaliation, when you chose the harder right over the easier wrong, you were making spiritual deposits into a system that doesn't crash. And now, that system is balancing the books. According to the law of attraction, the universe responds not to what we want, but to who we are. It responds to our energetic state, to our frequency. And frequency isn't formed in the highlight reels, it's shaped in the quiet decisions we make when no one's watching. When you chose compassion over control, patience over pride, truth over popularity, you raised your vibration. Every act of honesty fine-tuned your resonance. And now, abundance that matches that energy is looking for you. Tarot affirms this beautifully. The star arrives when hope is restored after trial. It's the moment you finally exhale and realize the worst is behind you. The Empress brings harvest, not just financially, but emotionally and creatively. She tells you that what you've nurtured is ready to bloom. And the Six of Pentacles reminds us that what we give from the heart returns, often multiplied, often unexpected, but always on time. When you give from a place of love and integrity, without fanfare or expectation, you're investing in a system deeper than any economy. And when the return comes, and it doesn't just replenish your wallet, it heals the wounds of every time you felt taken for granted. The truth is, Libra, you've already been wealthy in ways most people never measure. Now it's time for the material world to catch up with the soul-level abundance you've quietly been building. This may be the moment where you start to notice a different kind of respect coming your way. Not because you demanded it, but because your energy now commands it. You'll walk into rooms differently. People will treat you differently. Doors will open that used to stay shut, not because you forced them, but because you finally vibrate at the frequency of someone who knows their worth and whose worth is no longer up for negotiation. From a self-growth perspective, this is your cue to trust yourself more deeply. Make decisions based on your values, not just your fears. Say yes only where your integrity aligns, and say no without guilt where it doesn't. You're not responsible for fixing broken systems or proving yourself to those who underestimated you. Your only task now is to keep choosing who you want to be and to let your inner stability guide your outer expansion. In this season, Libra, you don't have to chase anything. You've already done the work. What's meant for you is already en route, drawn not by force, but by frequency. All you need to do is stay aligned. You've made it through the waiting, through the quiet clearing, through the recalibration of values, and now, Libra, you're stepping into something even more profound. This isn't just a moment of receiving, it's a moment of responsibility. You are no longer simply the one who is blessed. You are becoming the one who guards the blessing. The shift that's occurring now is not just about what flows to you, but what flows through you, and more importantly, how you steward it. For so long, you've been told to just be grateful for whatever crumbs life offered. You've been encouraged to give without boundaries, to say yes even when your body screamed no, to equate worthiness with sacrifice. But this new version of you, the one shaped by patience, integrity, and alignment, understands something deeper. True generosity comes from overflow, not depletion. And this is the season where you're learning how to give from strength, not survival. Think of your financial blessings, your time, your emotional capacity not as tools to buy approval or rescue others, but as sacred energy sources. They are meant to be used with discernment, with care. When you shift into the role of guardian, it means you start asking better questions. Not, how can I help everyone? But, what is my specific mission in this moment? Not, who needs me? But, who is truly aligned with the purpose I've been given? This isn't about selfishness. It's about stewardship. If you've ever seen someone waste a gift you worked hard to give emotionally, financially, or spiritually, you know that giving without wisdom can actually create harm. That's why now, more than ever, it's time to implement healthy financial boundaries. You're not just here to circulate energy, you're here to direct it, to honor it. Start by keeping a journal, not just for tracking expenses, but for noticing where your energy goes. Who are the people, the causes, the environments that light you up and leave you with more? Who are the ones that drain you, guilt you, or consistently take without reciprocity? It may sound simple, but this kind of emotional and financial clarity is foundational for anyone called to lead. There's an even deeper layer to this. In every generation, there are a few individuals who are selected not randomly, but purposefully to break old cycles and establish new standards. If you're watching this now, it's likely because you are one of them. And yes, it's a high calling. Yes, it asks more of you than it asks of others. But it also offers you a peace, a power, and a kind of quiet certainty that cannot be imitated or stolen. In self-development terms, this is where your leadership begins. But it doesn't look like a title or a stage. It looks like the calm you bring into a chaotic room. It looks like saying no to someone you used to say yes to, not out of rejection, but out of respect for yourself. It looks like trusting your intuition when it tells you someone's intentions aren't clean, even if they sound convincing. And it looks like honoring your resources not because you're afraid to lose them, but because you finally understand their sacred purpose. You are not here to save everyone. But you are here to guide those who are ready. You are not here to hand out energy out of guilt. You are here to give with intention, with clarity, and with confidence. Sometimes, that even means giving nothing, and that's okay, too. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being present, being grounded, and being willing to protect what matters. Because Libra, your light is no longer fragile. It's foundational. And as you step into this role of energetic gatekeeper, may you remember, the boundary you set today is the legacy you build tomorrow. Now that you've stepped into the role of guardian, Libra, and aligned yourself with the energetic current of your divine assignment, the next natural question is, how do you care for yourself while holding this much light? Because receiving a breakthrough, especially one of financial, emotional, or spiritual significance, doesn't just transform your circumstances. It transforms your nervous system. It rewires your rhythms. It expands your capacity, and in doing so, it also asks more from your physical body, your mental clarity, and your emotional intelligence. This is why tending to your full self, body, mind, and soul becomes not just supportive, but essential. Start with your body. During highly energetic periods, such as the one between November 6th and 8th, your physical system becomes more sensitive. You may feel more fatigued, even while your spirit feels energized. You might sleep lighter, or feel heavier. This isn't regression, it's integration. Your body is learning how to host a new frequency. To assist it, try simplifying your nutrition. Avoid overstimulating substances like caffeine or sugar during this window. They can throw your inner compass off balance. Instead, gravitate toward what is grounding: warm water with lemon, herbal teas, gentle broths, whole foods with high vibrational density. At night, a foot soak with pink Himalayan salt and a few drops of lavender or lemon essential oil can help calm your nervous system and create space for deep energetic rest. Add a few deep breaths each morning, not just to oxygenate your system, but to anchor your presence. The breath is your tool to gently call your awareness back to now. In your work life, you may feel a pull toward clarity. Don't ignore it. Around November 7th, the energy begins to favor decisiveness, but it must come from alignment, not fear. If you find yourself rushing into decisions out of urgency, pause. Libra's greatest wisdom lives in inner balance. Before committing to any action, ask, does this feel expansive in my chest, or tight in my gut? Let your intuition speak first, then let your logic build the bridge. This same intuitive listening applies to your finances now. As your energy changes, so too does your relationship with money. Ideas may come quickly, flashes of insight, sudden downloads of creative potential. Don't dismiss them. Write them down. Some will bloom immediately, others will reveal themselves in time. Begin to track how money enters and exits your life, not just by category, but by frequency. Ask yourself, does this expense energize me or drain me? Does this purchase serve growth or only silence fear? When you begin to spend and receive based on energy rather than emotion, you start participating in a more conscious economy, one that responds to clarity, not chaos. Emotionally, this is a potent time to reconnect with truth, especially in relationships. There may be something on your heart that's been left unsaid. A wound that needs a word. An apology. A confession. A moment of vulnerability. If there is something that has lingered in silence, consider using these few days as your bridge toward healing. The atmosphere around you is fertile with compassion. Don't underestimate the power of a single honest sentence. It can change an entire dynamic. As you move through this phase, notice the colors you're drawn to. Jade green supports the heart and offers deep restoration. Gold, not loud or flashy, but glowing, reminds you of your worth and invites prosperous outcomes. Ivory or soft white can help you release karmic weight and begin again, clean and unburdened. These aren't magic tricks. They're symbolic tools, gentle visual cues that realign your focus toward the life you're ready to create. This is your time to receive fully, but also to care deeply for the vessel receiving it all. The more grounded you are in your rituals, your rest, and your routines, the more your breakthrough becomes sustainable. Remember, Libra, alignment isn't just a feeling. It's a rhythm. Let it carry you. Let it steady you. And let it remind you that what's arriving isn't too much, it's exactly what you were built to hold. Libra, you are not waiting for a miracle, you are the miracle. This journey you've just walked through is more than a tarot reading, more than astrological insight. It's a soul-level confirmation that your energy, your decisions, and your presence have already shifted the field around you. You are no longer standing at the edge of change hoping to be noticed. You are the one holding the key. The gate is open not because someone else opened it for you, but because you remembered how to turn the lock. And as you step forward now, not as someone waiting for permission, but as someone fully embodied in their divine currency, I want you to feel what that truly means. The power of knowing you are no longer asking life to choose you. You are choosing life. This isn't about overnight success or lightning bolts of fate. It's about alignment that can no longer be denied. It's about your name being spoken in places you haven't even entered yet. It's about doors opening because your frequency is now a match for what you once believed was beyond your reach. And it's not because of luck. It's because of alignment. Because of preparation. Because of the integrity you've maintained, even when no one was watching. Because of the choices you made when the path was unclear but your heart stayed true. Let yourself feel this. Don't minimize what's shifting. Don't downplay the magnitude of your moment. You haven't just watched a video, you've received a sacred message. A transmission. A cosmic timestamp letting you know that the countdown is over. That the window is open. That the abundance you've prayed for, worked for, cried for is not just coming. It's already forming in the invisible. Right now. So as you move forward, Libra, hold this vibration like a flame in your chest. Protect it from doubt. Nourish it with action. Soften into it when the old fears try to creep back. And remind yourself, this new version of you is not fragile. It is formed from fire. It is born of truth. And it is ready to lead. I want to leave you with this. May peace arrive like a river that cannot be dammed. May wealth flow into your life in both seen and unseen ways. May your confidence become unshakable, not because you've done everything right but because you finally trust that you are held, guided, and capable. If this message stirred something deep in you, if your heart whispered, yes, while you were listening, then take a moment to anchor that in the physical world. Drop a comment with the number 77 not as a superstition, but as a soul signature. As a declaration that you are in. That this is your time. That this is your blueprint and you're claiming it. And if this video held a light for you, share that light forward. Like the video. Subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot. Share it with a soul you care about, someone who might be standing on the edge of their own breakthrough. Because sometimes, all it takes is one message, arriving at the right time, to awaken the miracle someone already is. Now go, Libra. Walk like the gateway is open because it is.